All right, hey everyone, Zorencio here. I want to show you a new way to do clips that I'm excited about. But first, I'm going to show you the old way of doing clips for context. So you got a belt and a clip, and you want to put it on there before you can put your tube through and then put your pin through and have it hold in place. So this is what it looks like if you add a mark with a Sharpie here, typically 36, 38, or 40 teeth in, then you'll have a good starting point. And one side you can do that. You set the amount of extra that you'd want with that. So I feed it through. I look for my little mark there. If the part is just the right size, then you can feed it through without skipping teeth. There I lost one tooth. That's typically what happens. It's a little harder. If you hold real tight, sometimes you can get it through, but it's got to be aligned. It's a little hard. Let me start my timer. So I've just started feeding my belt through. What I really want to do is get it through without slipping anything. Okay, there I got it. I didn't have to use the pliers, but often what I find is I need to use the pliers to hold things in place, especially on the other side. And so if I do this, feed it through, get it started, then I can get those about aligned. And then the next step is that you take your tube, you slide it in 2/3 of the way, and then you align the other side, push it through, and then you're good. You tighten it to make sure things are aligned. You check. I got my alignment marks matching. So zoom in there. There we go. So I'm good here. So that side is pretty quick. It's the other side that's the problem, because you need to match it to an exact length for your printer, and you don't know what that is offhand. So you start out not knowing exactly what it is. You push it through. You take a wild guess, because you don't know what it's going to be, and then you put it in your printer once you have it about aligned, and then you may find, as you pull, that it's insufficiently long. Okay, so we now need to add some teeth. We need to move it over. So how do you do that? You try to hold on to it, and as you pull it out, you kind of do the worm here. You do 1 or 2 or I think 3 teeth there. You hope that you can hold it in place, but again, that's a skill. You pull it through, you check it again. Let's say you get it just about right. Well, maybe we're off by 1 once you put it in. You need to add some more tension, so you have to do the same thing. Shift it over, slide it in. I'm pretty quick at it, but the challenge is that some belts are thicker, so they're going to be harder to fit, so we have to then have multiple sizes here. Also, you really want this thing to be tight. You really want it so it needs the pliers so that you don't get anything slipping. It's just not an ideal experience. So let me show you Speedclips. Speedclips are the result of a discussion yesterday with JV and Pinubi. Good time at office hours. We're just talking about how you might do a hybrid. So look in there, and it's just like a screw terminal. It closes to do the locking. So it's really easy. You feed it through, your belt through. You're not going to have the right size the first time. That's okay. We need to loosen up our opening as much as possible. Start over. Start a timer. All right, so we're going to feed it through. We're going to bring it back, but here's the thing. I can now adjust it in either direction. I can pull it tighter or I can push it looser. How cool is that? So now I can kind of set it to the size that I want. Let's say I need just a little bit less. I need it to be tighter. So I can grab that side and I can pull it through a little. There we go. And if you want, you can also use the pliers for it. It can be a little easier. So let's say I want 1 tooth. There we go. Hope you saw that. And now, once I've got that one side, I lock it in place. Not exactly locking, but I temporarily hold it in place. I pin it in place with my tube. On my pin, that would be confusing. I take the other side through. I take a wild-ass guess for what it is. I know I'm going to be wrong with that guess. Oh, I need a little more. So I don't need to pull it out. I just feed the other side through, push a little, 1, 2, 3 teeth. Am I right? Am I about there? Looks pretty close. Let me try that setting. Awesome. Okay, I got it. Now, I can't pull hard. I got to tighten it first. Locking it. So that was about a minute. I was going a little slow there, actually. That's a speed clip. You can adjust it in place without having to pull it apart each time. It also has all the benefits of not being as sensitive to the size of your belt or your particular printer and how much it extrudes and how thick that slot ends up being. And also, there's no trade-off between ease of assembly and actual strength and holding. Here it's going to be locked down because you've got a big screw. We can either use a M3x12 flathead or an M3x10 button head or socket head, I guess, if you're really in a pinch. And then the long T-nut, I think this is from MakerBeam XL for V0. So I've got a bunch lying around from that. I think it's pretty exciting because you now have a really quick way to, in the printer, adjust the length. And then the beauty, again, is always that this thing is repeatable. You want to do some maintenance, you want to switch out your motor, no problem. It takes you literally seconds to insert and remove that pin, and every time you connect it, you have the exact same tension as before. Much better than trying to pull something using pliers, potentially having safety issues, or just getting really frustrated. All right, I hope that was helpful. See you on the next one.